Okay, so this is part 4 as promised. I had to leave work because there was an incident and I can't do my job until the incident is cleared up. So I will be going back to work, hopefully not too long after I make this video. So while this video is posting, if you're watching now, which means it's uploaded and I'm at work probably vacuuming. Alright, because that's all I have to do. I just have to go back to work and vacuum the place out and then I'll be done for the night. I have to go to bed because I have to get up and go to class tomorrow, and I hope my deodorant doesn't fail before I go back there, because my deodorant feels like it's about to fail, which means I'm done with that shit, and I'm going to use the new degree, coconut mint. Anyway, so if you're up to speed and you've watched the other 3 videos, I got a little bit off track. All right, on the last video, I got a little bit off track on Trump and some other stuff, and that will probably be another video that I will make at another time. So, if you're not up to speed, there was a woman who was on Instagram, TikTok, Instagram, whichever one it was. It was on TikTok, but it made it to Instagram. And she called a young mixed child the N word. And that's why you're here right now. So now I can give a deep dive on how life is when you are mixed. This is the final part of this thing. It may go an hour, it may not. I don't know, because if you're watching it and I filmed it already, then only you will know. There will be background noise because people act like they can't see those damn lights. Yes, those lights right there. You can't see them because this light's on. But anyway, when you are growing up mixed, you view the world with honest to God open eyes. Alright? Let me explain that before people start coming at me like, what the fuck does that mean? Our eyes are always open. Yes. But just because your eyes are open does not mean you can see the forest for the trees. Alright? To you, one tree is just as good as another tree. For me, there may be a tree where I see a name carved in it, and you could be looking at that same tree, and until I point that carving out to you directly, you'll never see that shit. You're like, oh, there's no carving there. Yes, there is. No, there's not. Yes, there is. No, there's not. Yes, there is. And then if I grab you out of the top of your neck and put your face right up into the carving, you'll be like, oh, there's a carving there. Which in most cases, for people who are not mixed, these are the things you just don't see because you don't have to deal with that shit on a likely basis. Alright? In one of the videos, I brought my nephew in. He's like 1 or 2. I'm sure you guys like that video because I think I might have got shit on my finger before I had to stop it with this hand, so I had to use this hand. Anyway, when you are mixed, you have unquantifiable level of things that you can see that no one else can see. And it's genetic because of who you're mixed with. If you're mixed with white and you're black and you can see both sides, although you will probably favor more of your black side because racism is wrong. And if you come from a family of racists, 9 times out of 10, if you're mixed, whichever side is racist, you will try to confront and try to change and try to collect. And sometimes your birth is what changed that, right? Because sometimes when you were born into a family of people, I won't let my daughter marry a black man, and they have a mixed baby, and that baby becomes the center of the grandparents' world. This has changed people. I know. Trust me, it has changed people, and a lot of people don't see that. And then that person who was once the most racist SOB on the planet is now like, no, I got a black grandchild. Now, not only do I have to fight for her, I will fight beside her and with her until the end of my days. And this does happen because sometimes that's what it takes. You need to have someone in your family for you to wake the fuck up and say, yo, this is not cool. I don't want anybody going after my grandchild because my grandchild had a black father or a black mother. And that goes for any other race. And the reason why I use black is because I'm black. And a lot of people who are mixed with black aren't as accepted in society, and especially black society, by other black people, but they're less accepted by black people than they are of the other race, and okay, I will update that because sometimes when it comes to certain Asians also don't want black family members in their family either. And I do not know the concept of why, but I do know that it is true. I'm not going to say all Asians, but some Asians, like, I will never marry a black man. I will never let my child marry a black man. And generally that's due to something has happened between them and a black person, or pay attention, or someone in their family just hated black people and raised them to hate black people. And this does not just go for Asians and blacks. This goes for blacks as well. There are a lot of blacks that were like, "Oh, I'll never date an Asian," blah blah blah, and they'll throw all the racism in and all the culture and all that shit because somebody either got their ass kicked by an Asian, got insulted by an Asian, or was forbidden to date an Asian, so now they just hate all Asians. And this also goes for white people, you know. So when it comes to things like that, these are the things that y'all don't see. But you know why? Because you're not in that mixed mentality. You're not in that mixed community of, well, I can see it as plain as the nose in your face. Where y'all can't see it because you're not living this life. If you don't have children that are mixed, you are not living this life. And when you have children that are mixed, you will be thrusted into this life. And that lady from TikTok, it was on my Instagram, that caused such and such a person to come at me, has no idea, because she's white, how it feels to be on the bottom side of that track. And a lot of you probably don't know how that feels either. And you probably don't give a damn. And I'm not going to fault you for that. But here's the thing about being mixed. I lived it. I'm 47. I'll be 48 next month on the 23rd. But I've lived it from the 70s, 80s, 90s, until the current. It is 2021, and I'm still living the mixed life of racism. You cannot turn on a TV or a technological device without having something happen about racism. And then it's always the cops, the cops, the cops. Now, there are good cops. I have cops in my family, by the way. But there are bad cops, too. And until we weed out the bad cops, we're always going to have these problems. Now, the problem with that is that, you know, we're not really trying. No. And to be honest, cops need to be held accountable. Firemen and humans themselves need to be held accountable. And I know what I'm going to say is typical, and everybody's going to probably say something about this. And comply so you don't die don't always work. It has worked for me so far, so well. I'm not one of them people that start spitting off laws that the cops can and can't enforce, because I don't have time for that. Let me pay my fucking ticket and go about my business. I do not do drugs. I do not own a gun. So if I'm pulled over and they slip drugs or a gun on me, they're going to owe me for the rest of their lives. And any cops watching, you'll understand this right now. First off, I am studying police science and criminal justice. I have 2 classes to go after the 2 classes I'm doing now. And I will have my associate's degree in police science and criminal justice. So I kind of know what you are and are not allowed to do. Because that certificate in there for criminal justice says I know what you are and are not allowed to do. Am I going to go pick up the law book and start spewing all this shit to you? No. Because as a trained police officer, you also know what you are and are not supposed to do. And there are quite a few things that they could have done in that situation. Arresting that woman was the right thing to do. First off, if you are an adult and you are threatening to kill a child in public, that shit is illegal. Just like swearing in public is also illegal. Now let me explain why they rarely enforce that shit. Alright? You're not supposed to swear in front of children in public. If you're in the military, you're not supposed to swear in your uniform in public or anywhere else. I guess on base is okay. But for the most part, you represent the best of the best. Which means your mouth needs to be clean. Not just sparkly white. But everything that comes out your mouth represents the military. If you are not at boot camp or on base, then words that come out your mouth need to be proper, pronunciated correctly, so that you sound professional. Alright, now this is what I was told when I was in BC at Fort Benning. I could be wrong now. 2010 was a long fucking time ago. And you don't know how many times Drill Sergeant Faustina called me a fuck stick. And that was before I went downrange. And then you know how many times we all have been called fucksticks downrange, or bitches, or dicks, and shit like that. Now, they're all acronyms, so they're not actually being used as cuss words, but they are acronyms, so, you know, even dead, I'm the hero. You know, you have to be aware of that. Now, the fun part. When it comes down to being mixed, you need to understand. I see how white people feel. I know how white people feel. I have white people in my family. I know where they're coming from. And the white people in my family, biologically and non-biologically, are not racist. Now, racist white people, I can understand where they're coming from. I know white people. I knew a couple of racist white people, but they were honest racist. All right? And say I can live with an honest racist because I know where I stand. I also know that I'm not going to your house for dinner, and you're not coming to mine. And if our children date or meet, I'm not going to have a problem with your daughter dating my son. You're going to have a problem with your daughter dating my son. I am going to have a problem with my daughter dating your son. Now, why does that sound fucked up? I will explain that. Because that means your daughter's bringing your troubles to my house. So, my daughter, excuse me, is bringing your troubles to my house. And then I have to worry about every time my daughter pisses off your son, how many times are you going to say that NB is not allowed in my house? But every time your son pisses off my daughter, I'm going to sit down and talk to your son, man to man, and ask him, look, dude, are you dating my daughter because you love her? Are you dating her because dating an interracial girl is the thing to do? Been there, done that, because being dated by girls who only dated me because I was colored, yeah, that was a thing. Trust me, it was a thing. They didn't love me. They was just dating me because I was black, but I didn't look black, and I could pass for anything but black. And their parents did not like blacks, and their parents did not like Mexicans. Enough said. Look at my face. Yeah. So they say, oh, well, he's not black today. He's Mexican. I've never met a Mexican with the last name Williams. Met a lot of black people with the last name Williams. Not related, but you get the gist. And this is where they can go, well, his mom and dad aren't married, and he took his mom's last name. Instead of his name being Jose Lopez, his name is James Williams Jr. Do not ask me how the hell I came up with Jose Lopez. All right. I do not have that as an alias. Most of my aliases are total Asian names. Anyway, or Native American names, depending on how you perceive that. Now, with me having a problem with a white guy dating my daughter, I will sit down and talk with this young man. It's like, are you dating my daughter because she's mixed? Or do you love my daughter? What are your intentions with my daughter? Do you intend on living with her for as long as you can until y'all both break up and find new people? You know, I want to know. I do not want to know if they're fucking. Because I can't stop that. You're never going to be able to stop your daughter from fucking whoever she wants to consent to having sex with. And you're going to have to understand that as a man. Alright? Because you also had sex with somebody's daughter. It's how your daughter got here. So, you're going to have to swallow that pill. But you can talk to your daughter and make sure that she is prepared to not become a mother before she's fucking 15 years old. You know? And that's the only thing I say to my future daughter. Do not get pregnant before I'm dead. Or before you have a decent job, a real man who's going to work with you and not against you and put you down and tear your little heart to pieces. You know, no. You want to have a baby with a real man so that you guys can be a family unit and do better than what I done. And than what my parents have done. And what their parents before them have done. And so on and so on and so on. And you have to install good visions and things into your children so that they don't fuck up. Unfortunately, that's not how it was done here in this family because of my siblings having so many fucking kids and robbing me of my life. Oh, that was supposed to stay in my head. Anyway, you know, now, after I understand what your son's intentions is, I'm not going to wait for him to leave and tell him he's a WB and say racist shit. Because it would be like me talking about my grandfather, who was also mixed with white on my mom's side. So, yeah, I can't. I don't have the right to because I'm multicultural. Now, this lady who came after this mixed kid, you know, she's a grown-ass woman. And she's a grandmother. I'm sure her grandkids are not very proud of her right now. But it's just the concept of, you know, why are you going after a child? And what did the child do? Could you not just go talk to the parents peacefully? Or did you just, like, have racist radar? Beep, 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 beep. There's a black child with a white person. Maybe she's not that white person's child. That never crossed her mind. Let's just go and start saying shit. Let's go do the first option. Let's go attack this black child. Now, she got in there and I'm sorry for the world. By now, we should all know that everybody and their mama got these things right here. If you think you are not being recorded by somebody, you're the ones living under the 8 ball. That's a thing from the very first Flash TV show where the Flash, John Wesley Shipp, spin the 8 ball behind on a pool table and it burned through it and told people they'll be behind the 8 ball. And there's my interruption. I will be making a part 4 beta. Thanks for watching. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I gotta go lay down the law now.